And we should be live, but now I got to pull it up. There we go. All right. Why is it not vertical? I don't get this. I'm not sure about this. Hey, what's going on? Thank you guys for joining in. Hey, is it the full screen for you guys? The full short screen, the vertical screen? I'm just curious because on my end it's a little different. What's going on, guys? Aloha. We're gonna do some sharpening. I didn't title the video or anything. Screw it. But so you can see. All right, so it's the full screen. I just wanted to make sure because on my end it's a small screen. So whatever. I mean, it's not the whole screen. Doesn't matter. I don't know, but you're live. Oh, there's my mom. Hope you're doing. Thank you, Mom. I love you too. Tomorrow we have a Chicago meeting in the city with a custom knife maker, Burr. So if anybody's in the Chicago area, I mean, as far as I know, everybody's welcome to join. There's a bunch of us going there, and it's hopefully going to be a good time. I know I'm excited for it. Let me see if I can pull up this too. You into Japanese kitchen knives? I am, but I don't have any. But yeah, I am. I definitely want some. I just do not have any. But I've heard great things. I want to get some. I've tried getting some, and maybe I should try a little bit harder. Any suggestions for a chisel tip fixed blade? Sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to turn off the thing on there, otherwise you're probably making all kinds of noise. I forgot to turn that off. Chisel tip fixed blade. I mean, Miller Bros, I believe, has some really cool chisel fixed blades. They're pretty sick too. They got some of the best sheaths, I think, as far as they have Kydex with leather. It looks badass. To me, that's like the ultimate sheath. If you can get a mixture between the both. I'm poor, so I can only afford more knives. More knives are good, though. Those are good knives. So nothing wrong with that. Hey, man, you and Outdoors 55 taught me so much about sharpening. Awesome, man. I appreciate that. That's really cool. We're going to be sharpening up something here in just a minute. I'm just letting people get in here. So give it a couple minutes, and then we will we'll start sharpening. I'll lower down the camera and stuff, or back you guys up or whatever. You look like you're in a police interview. Yeah, been there a few times. Too many times to be proud of. But thank you. I got these family members interested in sharpening today. Have one of them and order Sharple dual-sided starter, 125, 1200. You know what? They just came out with, and I have one. They have a 325 600 now, which is really cool because it's a big jump going from 325 to 1000. You'll wear your 1000 out a lot quicker by doing that big of a jump. Yes, you can do it. There's nothing wrong with doing it, but it's just it wears out the 1000 faster. So if you have the 600, it is really good to have. Neeves, you need to come out with a Hogue Deca tie screw kit. I'll look into it. We definitely want to get a lot more stuff on the site, so we're definitely trying to fill it up right now. We got a bunch of stuff in the works. We're going to try to make one of these leather pouches. I'm going to talk to one of my buddies who does leather work You can see this thing is so cool. This is the way when I travel to blade shows or anything, this is how I travel with my knives, or either this or like a little Pelican case. But this is really nice because it fits right in my backpack. So like if I'm going to go to the show and I'm only carrying a backpack, I don't have to worry about carrying, you know, a big ass hard case too, because I have all my camera equipment and everything. So I like it a lot. Will 15V stay toothy when polished? No, it will not. It will slicken out pretty quick. You want to go around 400 grit. 400 to 600 is what I found that works the best. I got a 200/800 recently with the ceramic base. Speaking of sheaths, has Tim sent you an FLN? No, it's on the way. I got one on the way, so I'm waiting for it right now. When are you restart? Oh, so we're just waiting for them. They were supposed to only be like 12 days, but then the batch got lost in the mail or something. So it was like we had to wait like 20 days or something like that. So hopefully it's within the next 20 days. I'm not 100% on the exact days, but it shouldn't be long. They're in the works. They got them now. So also, I should say this. We are going to put together, or we have put together, complete hybrid sets, which I'm really excited about because people could save money. So you will have the best you could get for that money. The only thing better about the more expensive set is that the first stone, you don't have to use any water or anything. Now, with the first hybrid, it's going to be an 80 grit. So that's very aggressive. So I'm hoping it's even more aggressive than the silver 160. And if that's the case, it might even be better to just go with all hybrids. But I do find that the vitrifieds do kind of give the best medium grit edges. And the silver, from my experience before, it was cutting the fastest. But we're going to see how this complete set of hybrids goes. I have a complete set of hybrids, but I've never tried one from 80 grit and up. So that's going to be really awesome. And people will save money with that batch. And you'll still get like the best edges, because to me, those are the best finishing stones. The absolute best finishing stones are the hybrids, and they do great medium grit edges. So when I say that the vitrifieds are, you know, I think are a little bit better for medium grits, it's very insignificant. What the hell? Why won't Jared? You get to try out that new Vosti raccoon with the anchor lock. Yes, I actually did a video on it yesterday or day before. I got one right here. I actually showed it, and we sharpened this in the last live actually. And to the members, guys, I'm sorry we haven't done a members live. Right now, I'm using my computer for the first time in a long time. I didn't want this to go wrong and mess up. So I do have all the giveaway stuff right there. We got a ton of great shit. It's like right now it's all premium stuff. So we're going to have an awesome giveaway. And yeah, I'm excited for it. So it's going to be pretty badass. But yeah, the Vosti raccoon is dope. I've always liked the coon. So it's even better, you know, when you get even stronger lock. How much for what? The stones? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know 100% yet, because we might be adding one stone to it. Depends on if we go with the 6 stone or 7 stone set. If we wind up having to go with the 7 stone set, it'd be a little bit more. But the original one was $510 with our cases, so it'd be less than that. I think you'll save a good amount of money. Like I forget how much, but near like $100 or something. I'm not 100% on this. So don't quote that. When are you coming out with your very own sharpening system? I'm looking into it. Right now I'm trying to get my own diamond plates. We've been working on the bonded stones for a while, but we're going to work on everything. So we want to get literally everything. North Cal in the house. What's up, North Cal? How do you feel about Spy 27? Man, I haven't had enough time with it. I've sharpened quite a bit of it, but I just haven't had enough time with it to really give you a good answer. Can you do a review on the Gerber strong arm? Probably not. I just sharpened up Maximet today. I've sharpened up tons of Maximet. I don't do sharpening services anymore. You have a Temu Medford wannabe. Okay. What's up, Doe? What's up, brother? All right, so I'm gonna well, how many people we got in here? I can't even see. What we got in here? What's the count? Can you guys see the count? I can't see the count for some damn reason. I thought it would say right here, but I guess not. This thing's starting to piss me off. Why is... Sorry, hang on one second, guys. Forget about it. Nope, nope, nope. I want to do that. I want to do this. No, I do not. I do not want to do that. I'll do this. 101. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's do it. So let me grab some stuff out. So we got a couple different choices. I actually do have a new sharpening thing from DMD yet. I haven't tested it yet, but we're going to be testing this soon. Let me just lower you guys just a little bit really quick. I'm going to lower you guys more. So just give me time. We're just going to lower you just a little bit right now. Right now. Let me know if the audio is cool. So this is, I guess, a fixed system from DMD. Yeah, it looks like it. I don't, maybe it's going to be cool. Hey, these guys sell very affordable stuff, so this could be promising. We'll see how that turns out. I'll do that separately. We don't want to do that in this thing because I don't want to fuck anything up. So live, we'll do regular sharpening live. But I have this, and then I have something else too. A couple other things. Actually, I have like 10 sharpening systems we got to get to. All right. So we got right here our stone holder. You can find these on the Neeves Knife Co. site. By the way, we do have a Whatnot live stream coming up Wednesday. And check this out, guys. Hear me out. This is big information, so listen up. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, I'm going live on Whatnot. And if you've never been to Whatnot, if you have never, ever been to Whatnot, then you're going to want to show up this time. This is the one time when it's going to be super important, because if you've never been to Whatnot, sign up, because if it's your first purchase on my live stream, not only do you automatically get $15 off for your first purchase on Whatnot, but I'm throwing in a free knife. So if you buy a $20 knife, you'll get $15 off. So you'll get the knife for $5 plus a whole nother knife. So I'm giving away free knives to first-time purchasers on Whatnot, not directly on my page, but just meaning like your first purchase on Whatnot. So, and then also there'll be tons of giveaways. And then whoever spends the most money will automatically get a premium knife, and it's going to be a great time. So hopefully you guys show up. Okay, so we have right here, these are a new set of bonded stones. So these are, they're supposed to be like a resin bonded diamond, but this is more of like, this is a metal bond to me. It's a very high concentration of copper or brass and then diamond. There's definitely resin in there, but I borrowed this case from Sharpall. This is a Sharpall case. This is what them, you can get these with the 325 and the 1000, or 325 and the 600. But let me move that back there. So we're going to use this guy. So this is a 160 grit right there. And I recently did condition these. So these are nice and fresh. I think I've only sharpened on them one time since I conditioned them. I didn't even condition them. Sorry. I did a straight stone flattening. So I used silicon carbide powder, and I did a complete silicon carbide Schmitty. Ooh, let me take this watch off where I fucking scratch the shit out of it. All right. All right. You guys about ready? Let's see where we're at. Jared, what cigars did you smoke today? I smoked one of those, the same ones. I can't remember the name of it. Let me grab it. The La Colmena. This is the one I smoked today. La Colmena. Pretty good. These are fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to sharpen up some 3V. We got a sheep's foot 3V. So there also is a drop point. and then a Tanto and AEBL, but we're going to sharpen up this one. So these two are in 3V. This one's an AEBL. Beautiful Tanto, though. They did a good job with this. I thought about doing this one because this is a nice straight edge for us to sharpen, but we're going to do the sheep's foot. I got a bad cut on my finger, so I don't want to fuck around too much. Jared, for a first-time sharpener, what do you recommend? So I recommend you literally go and watch, stay here, first of all, watch this, but after this, or tomorrow, or whenever you get a chance, watch my beginner's guide for beginner sharpeners. I give you exact information you need, exactly what to get, what not to get, and exactly what to do step by step. So that's a great video for you to watch, because when I record, I'm able to get, you know, the right visuals, and you know what I mean? Like it's a lot better. Like right now, I can't give you close-ups and stuff like that. So definitely watch that. But I will show you what I would say is, just to start off, you're going to want some diamond plates. I would recommend Ultra Sharp or Sharpall. I normally recommend a Toma. You can find them on Amazon right now, but they are going up in price soon, and they are kind of expensive already, but they're going to be going up in price. They're trying to charge us like 50% more. So that's why we're not going to probably have them on the site no more. That was soapy water. So this is a resin bond diamond. The difference between this and like the diamond plates that you would buy, is just that these have diamonds mixed throughout. A diamond plate, it's just on the surface. So once they wear off, you will have to replace them, but they'll last you a good amount of time. Unless if you get a super cheap set. Don't go and cheap out and get like a $5 set from Amazon. Spend a little bit more, right? Like, you know, 3 plates for $100 or something like that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start off with a push. I could start off with a pull, but I'm gonna start off with a push. And right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my edge angle. So you want to look at your edge and really get a good look of it. And one thing you'll know with a factory edge is that the scratches are running straight up and down with the edge. When you look at the edge, they're all running straight up and down, because that's the way the belt goes, okay? So as soon as you go across the stone at an angle like this, you're going to see those scratches because they're going at an angle, right? So you put it on the stone. I say about the middle of your finger or middle of your thumb is usually a good angle. So you just pick a spot near the tip, not at the tip, but near the tip. Just match the middle of your thumb, and then give yourself 1 or 2 little pushes, and then you can look at it and see where the scratches are landing. So in our case, it's landing at the top of the bevel. So there's the entire edge bevel, which is really tiny, so it's kind of hard for me to show you. But right at the top is where we're hitting. That's where we want to be. Now, we don't want to be too far up on the top, because then that's too low of an angle. So I'm going to do a few more passes really quick, since we're in the general right area, and see how that looks. Now I'm just going to take a good look at it, and we are good. So what I can tell now is that my scratches, yes, they are at the top of the bevel, but they're working their way down. They're not just stuck at the top. If you go across the stone a whole bunch of times and your scratches are only at the very, very top of the bevel and staying there, you have a very, very low angle, and you might want to adjust to a higher angle. Can you sharpen the Tanto on a fixed angle sharpener? Yeah, absolutely. Are you asking me if I can now or if I can, period? You can, yes. You can sharpen them on fixed angled or freehand. It's probably easier for people on fixed angled, but you know, I personally like to sharpen them freehand, no problem. So what I'm doing is, because this is the easiest shape, in my opinion, for people to learn how to sharpen on. A drop point that has a low tip, or a sheep's foot like this, where the tip is very low. It has very little belly. So just so you see, yes, it does have lift. Like you see how right now the edge is hitting. This is the same as if I'm like this, okay? So I'm like this right now, and you see what's not hitting. The tip's not hitting. So how do I get to the tip? I just lift my elbow. That's all I do, okay? So if I'm going like this across the stone and I need to get to the tip, I need to lift my elbow to get to the tip. Okay, so when I'm going across the stone here, I'm focusing at the heel first. That's where I care about my angle. I don't care about the angle here or here, only right here. And I focus my pressure right there. Not a lot of pressure, just a little bit of pressure. You want to feel like you're cutting a thin layer off the top of the stone. As you're going across the stone, your focus is going to move from here to here, to here to here, and over and over and over. Once you get to here, now you're going to need to lift, because there's nothing hitting the edge now once we get to here, because I need to lift. So I'm gonna lift my elbow until we get to the tip, bam. And it's not that much of a lift. That's why it's so easy for people to sharpen this, because they don't have to lift their elbow very much. Now here's another thing, what makes it very easy is with a neutral grip like this, I can easily hang on to this, find my angle, right? I'm gonna find my angle and watch my arm, guys. Don't watch the stone right now. Watch my forearm. This is the important part. Once I have my angle, which we said was the middle of my finger, right? Once I have my angle, right? I have it now. I can lift up. I can move all around I want, as long as I don't move my wrist and my forearm. I can move my shoulder. I can move my elbows, but I can't move my forearm or my wrist. And look at this. I'm still at the same angle because I didn't move this. Once you move this, like once I stop and I do this, now I have to reposition. But once I get that angle again, I lock all of this. I lock my forearm in. And now when I'm pushing across, I just lift my elbow. When I lift up, I just drop my elbow to get back down to the beginning again. Go across, lift up, drop my elbow, lift my elbow. It's just a lifting and dropping of your elbow. I'm lifting to get to the tip, and then when I pick up off the stone, I'm dropping it to go back down to the heel again. And you also can do this, where you just stay on the stone, and you go back and forth, and all I'm doing is lifting and dropping my elbow again. Lifting, dropping, lift, and it's ever so slightly, like it's only like this much, because there's hardly any belly. If this had a big belly, then yeah, my elbow would go way up in the air, but it's not. And we are pretty close to having a burr. So let's get that burr. 3V is a really tough steel. It's an extremely tough steel. One of the best steels for hard use, tough use. It also takes a screaming sharp edge. Wolf shields are why you're using your knives as pry bars. I have never broken a blade like that in my life. I've broken blades, but typically it's because of heat treatment. I've broken many blades before, but typically it's not. I wasn't using it as a pry bar. Just not that I didn't pry with it or anything, but I'm saying that if I pry with my knife and it breaks, depending on the geometry will depend on whether or not it breaks, right? If I'm taking a thin blade, then yeah, it should break. But if it's a super thick knife, it should have no problem prying, to be honest. Like I have knives that are thicker than most pry bars. But my point is though, is that like, if you have a knife and you're not being stupid with it, like you're talking about, and it breaks, it's typically because of heat treatment, which I've had happen. I had a knife one time, I was prying a piece of plastic. Like I'm talking about the weakest shit ever, and it snapped in half. Like that should not have happened. By the way, it was a Gerber. 15V, hard to sharpen? No, it's not hard to sharpen. Just go with a diamond. You want to use diamond. I wouldn't go with too coarse of a diamond. Like don't go with like a 50 grit or anything like that. Start with like, I don't know, a 200 to 300 grit and reprofile it, and then move to 400 grit. You can even get by with just one stone with that, just a 400 grit stone. I personally would recommend reprofiling on something a little bit more aggressive, and then moving to a 400 to 600 grit and then finishing there. All right, we are pretty good. I'm going to switch to the other side really quick. And I'm going to come back to this side. I just want to even it up really quick. So what I'm going to do over here, same exact thing. I want to get a comfortable pinch, right? Get it nice comfortably. I'm going to pinch up on the blade because I want a little bit of blade, because I want my thumb kind of pushing down right there. It kind of gives me some a little bit of stability at the heel, because the heels weren't focused at first, right? Now I could do the same trick that I do with my thumb over here with my pointer. I'm not going to, because I already know kind of the angle, and I also can just check it by doing a couple swipes and then looking at it and then knowing right there's my angle. Again, focus at the heel, coming across the stone, focusing my tension here, 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 and then now when you get to here, so we lift our elbow. Lift, lift, and then drop. Lift, but the drop and lift is so low. Sorry, this thing keeps moving. It's because I have this other plastic thing underneath it. Yeah, it looks good. Hard working a knife on a job that requires speed. A prying can, yeah, absolutely. You know what? Absolutely. That's why I will never tell somebody that they shouldn't be. I'm not that I wouldn't say you shouldn't be prying with your knife, but if you're doing construction, you run into situations like, put it this way, right? One time I was up on a roof and I was hanging drip edge, and drip edge goes right underneath the shingles and in between the fascia. The fascia is like the board, you know, right underneath the shingles on the face of the house. Anyway, so I'm replacing that and I'm trying to fit it in. And listen, I'm tired. This is the end of the day. I'm up on a ladder that's like you know, like fucking hanging on for dear life, and it's hot. I'm on the hot side. The house is white. It's reflecting off. I'm dripping with sweat. I got bees fucking with me, and I'm trying to push this piece underneath a piece of shingle, and it's hitting something, and I know it's a nail. I can't see it though, so I got to take my knife out. And at the time, all I needed, because this job it didn't require my whole tool belt. So, and also I didn't have a pry bar or anything on me. I just had the tools I needed for this little job because, like I said, it was just a little piece of drip edge. And when I went up there, didn't have my pry bar, and I'm all the way up there. I'm not climbing all the way the fuck down to just get a pry bar to go back up there when I have a knife in my pocket. So I grabbed my knife and I pulled up the shingles, and I seen the nail, and then I pulled up the nail a little bit and pulled it out. Now, most people would say, well, you should have used a nail puller or pry bar. And it's like, yeah, you're right. But I wasn't getting down to do that. Like, not when you're in the middle of that shit. Like, it just becomes so, like, the type of person that would do that is going to waste so much more time than the knife would be worth at that moment, especially because it didn't break or anything. Nothing happened to it. I remember the knife I had. I had a Ganzo. It was a Ganzo crossbar lock. It was like the 940 look-alike. You guys remember that one? All right, keep going. So our scratches have not reached the apex. Remember, we're looking for our scratches to make their way slowly down to the apex. So that's what we're watching. We're watching our new scratches from our diamonds get applied to the edge. And we want to watch them. We don't want to watch them just jump right down to the apex, because that means that our angles are all over the place. We want to start at the top of the bevel and let them slowly work their way at an angle down to the apex. Once they reach the apex, that's when we know we have a burr. I'm not sure how much I like these bonded stones in particular, but I do have some hybrids on the way. They should be here any time. They're already in the United States. I'm just waiting for them to show up. I was really hoping to have them for this live, but okay, we're about 3/4 of the way down. I'm almost thinking about just grabbing a diamond plate because I feel like they would cut faster than these. I don't know if I'm a big fan of these PDT stones here. All right, sorry guys if I'm not answering. The best tool for the job is whatever you, yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. When you're in, like, anybody who's maybe never done construction will say a lot of things, but you talk to me when you're on a 110 day and you're in an attic that's on 120, 130 degrees and water's just dripping off of you like a faucet because you're sweating so fucking hot. And you got, you know, just everything, you got nails hanging out from the ceiling, stabbing into your head, and like just all the bullshit that construction workers deal with. Like, everybody says shit until they're in that fucking moment. Then it's like, hey, you know, you're right. You're right. I'd probably do the same thing everybody else does. Because you're going to improvise. You're going to use the tool of hand. Sometimes you're going to rig things. Sometimes you're going to, you know, even if, you know, you might do your best work, right? But that doesn't mean you're not going to improvise sometimes with a tool or with a situation or how you do something or whatever. I'm sorry, guys. I should have turned off my damn messages because I am somebody who gets a lot of them. When are you going to design and create a huge chopper? Soon. I will definitely do that. I want to do that. Oh, Lord, I've lost 20 pounds. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. You definitely will lose some poundage, you know, doing anything in the heat. For maintain, what? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Yep. So we are, so this side is again, it's a little bit thicker than this side. Kaiser seems to do that. I wonder if it's their machine. It's happened twice now to me recently. So let me go back to this side really quick. You know what? Fuck this. I don't even know why I'm frustrating myself with this. I'm grabbing a diamond plate. I'm just gonna grab a good old fashioned diamond plate. We'll grab this one too, since I've already been using this one. This one is the 1,325. So this is what I was telling dude earlier to get. 325, 1,000. There's also the 325 and 600. I would recommend probably getting the 325, 600. But you know, you should probably get 1,000 too. So, and there's nothing wrong with having two 325s, because that's going to be your most used stone, is your coarsest. Whatever your coarsest stone is going to be your most used. So if it's 325, you're going to be using the 325 the most, because that's what you get the most work done on. You do all the work on the first stone. All the rest of the stones, refine your work. All your work is done on the first stone. The other stones are there to, basically what you're doing is you're laying the foundation with the first stone, and all the rest of the stones are just refining your serrations, because this is leaving serrations on the edge. That's what makes a knife sharp, is cutting in a bevel to make a V, and then it having teeth. So the finer you go with the diamonds or with your stones, the finer the teeth get. So you go from really toothy to less toothy. Sometimes you want really toothy, sometimes you want less toothy. Sometimes you want a happy medium. That feels a lot better. It feels like it's cutting now. These ones don't cut that good. Got the ultra sharp stones you had on your Amazon store. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Ultra sharps are great. Those are a great alternative, especially. I like them better than DMT, to be honest. DMTs are USA made, but to me, they're a little bit more expensive, and I don't even think they're as good. They used to be, but I don't know. Something happened. Again, we're focusing 1 inch at a time. Heel, and as I move across the stone, this part's come off, so now I'm focusing here, here, here. Now I need to lift to get to the tip. And it's a gentle lift. And now we are almost to the apex. So now we're talking. We are raising our angle slightly though, because I can see the bevel's a little bit bigger. I might take this rubber mat off. Let's see if this is, yeah, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't have left this thing underneath here. That's my problem. Yeah, this grind is all off. The grind is wacko. It's like thinner, thicker, thicker, thinner, thinner. It's weird. Like it's a little bit of a wave. It's not my fault though. That's the grind. Nothing I can do about that. I had somebody one time contact me because he used a fixed angle knife sharpener, and the edge was like this, and he was like, what the fuck did I do wrong? Like he couldn't figure it out. Sent me a picture or some videos in a picture and showed me. I was like, dude, I was like, you didn't do nothing wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. Like that's the knife. The knife, it did that. You didn't do that. Wherever it's thinner, your edge is smaller. Wherever it's thicker, your edge is bigger if you're holding the same angle. And on a fixed angle sharpening system, it holds a perfect angle. So if you hold a perfect angle all the way across, that's why knives, that's why when we say like the grind is really good or the geometry is really good or they have nice even bevels, that's usually what we're talking about. That also can refer from one side to the other, but sometimes it's just one side. Fucking thing wants to scoot on me, doesn't it? There we go. Now we got a burr. Got an idea. Hang on tight, guys. Hang on tight. We're going for a little ride really quick. starting to drive me fucking nuts. I'll start breaking shit. Should you use water on a diamond plate? No, you do not. On bonded, possibly. It depends on the type of bond it is, because some do require it, but not diamond plate. Diamond plate don't require it at all. It just dusts right off because it's just a metal surface with diamonds over the top of it, so it has nothing to clog. Stones, typically the reason why you use water or soap is because the stone will get clogged. So also with soapy water, which is what I like to use, with bonded stones, it helps let the metal particles bleed off, or, you know, like go off the surface without clogging the stone. With a diamond plate, there's nothing to clog. You just dust it off. What? Oh. Yeah, it looks good. This side looks great. The bevel is a little weird too. It's really thin back here, then it gets thicker and then thinner at the tip, but it's not bad. This side is a little wavy, but whatever. It's an EDC fixed blade. I'm not worried about it. Try to straighten it out as much as I can, but there's nothing I can do about the grind of the knife. I can try to drop angles in certain areas, but there's no point. I'm about to switch over to the other stone. Make sure it's even. Looks pretty good. All right, we do have a Burr too. So we could flip over to this 1000. I did want to I'm not gonna mess with those right now. I kind of wanted to, but man, I'm not. Something's going on with those. I don't know if I like them. So we could use some good old-fashioned Neeves, but I don't want to use something you guys can't get. So let's just let's roll this over and just do the 1000. We'll do that. So if you get this stone, this would be the edge you would get or could get. Now, like I said, it'd be better if I used a 600 in between here, which I do have, but I want you guys to see the results you would get just from buying this one diamond plate. You get the stone holder and the diamond plate. I might try to set up a tri-way stone too. How do I strop properly? We will get to that in just 1 second. I'm going to show you exactly how to. I use soapy water always because for me, keeps me from breathing the dust, but I sharpen a lot of knives. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with using water on the diamonds, aside from maybe it might rust them. But it's not necessary, like that's not required. Yeah, I kind of want to put a 600 grit edge on this though. Yeah, you know what, screw it, we're gonna do that. I want to put a 600. I want a 600 grit edge. So I have one right here. This is a brand new one too. Never even used this one. Look at this. This is fresh as can be. I saved this because I wanted to record it in a video, but here we. Oh, it's a 220 on this side. So this one's even better. I would definitely recommend getting this one. 220 and a 600. This is the way to go. I have not used that 220 yet. Obviously, I didn't even realize it was a 220, and this is a 600. 600 grit is my favorite grit because it's the best on all steel. So 600 grit edge works on every single steel. Every single steel will do well with a 600 grit edge. My favorite is like a very toothy mirror polished edge, but most steels don't do well with that. So you have to pick the right steels for that, and then also make sure they have a good heat treatment. Yeah, you can use a rusty eraser or a regular eraser. My diamond plates never clog. I never have problems with cleaning my diamond plates because I just dust them off. They don't clog up. Nothing ever happens. Just dust them off with a towel. If I really wanted to, I could rinse them off with some soapy water, and that's it. Okay, we're done with that side big time. Flip that Burr over. Oh yeah, now this thing's not moving on me. Hell yeah, it was driving me nuts. Moving a little bit, but not like it was. Okay, again, we're just doing up and down, up with our elbow, down with our elbow, and pushing back. So I'm pulling towards me, lifting my elbow to the tip. I can feel the tip hit with my finger, and then I'm pushing back and just dropping my elbow. Lifting, dropping, lifting, dropping. That's what I'm doing. But I'm keeping my wrist and my forearm locked. That way I don't move my angle. The only thing that can move your angle is your wrist or your forearm. So if you lock both of them in, wherever you want to be, and don't move them and only move your elbow and your shoulder or your body. You can lean in, lean back. You can also do that. Then your angle is not going to change. And it'll be nice and perfect. We have a little bit at the heel that's going to be difficult to hit because of the grind problem they have. But if it's going to be a problem, I'll just leave it and get it on the next sharpening. Oh, it looks beautiful. Yeah, we're pretty much done with this. We will go to the 1000. I wasn't going to finish on the 1000. I want to finish on the 6000. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna hit this really quick with the 600, or 600, not 6,000. I'm gonna hit this really quick with the 600, and I'm just gonna use the 1000 to remove my burr. There we go. This should be good. Let me feel it. Looks good. Looks good. You know what? A little bit at the tip. So I'm gonna hold my angle. I'm gonna make sure I hit the tip really good now. That's what's kind of missing. It's hit, but right at the apex, I can see a little shiny part, which means my scratches have not hit it. You'll see it'll be dark or it'll be shiny, one of the two. Oh yeah, I can feel it hitting now. Yeah, there we go. All right, now let's remove this burr, and then we'll get the stropping, and I can show you the stropping. So with removing the burr, we got it. So every time you work on one side, you want to get your scratches all the way to the apex and form a burr. The burr will fold over. So when you're removing steel from this side, as you remove steel, you're going to fold steel over to the opposite side. So if I'm working on this side, I will feel the burr on this side. And I just want to take my finger and rub up the blade. So you'll feel it on this side, it's smooth, and whichever side you are working on, and then the opposite side will be rough. So what I want to do is I just want to do some stropping passes, basically, on the stone very gently, and then do a couple forward passes. But these are super gentle. You want no pressure. Like when we were sharpening, we had, you know, a couple pounds of pressure, not much, but a couple pounds, right? Like 4 pounds of pressure. Now we want not even 1 pound. We want very, very gentle. If you have to, you can add up to maybe 1 pound. But for the most part, you shouldn't have to if the heat treatment's good. If the heat treatment's bad, yes, you might have to add a little bit. How will you know? You'll know because the burr will be a motherfucker to get off. The harder the burr, there we go. So this one's not too bad. The harder the burr is to come off, the worse the heat treatment is in most cases. Maybe not all, but in most. So this is 1/2 micron stroppy stuff. You can get this from the Neeves Knife Co. Website. And so the way you strop is what you do is you can lay your knife down and you're focusing at the tip, not the heel. So when you sharpen at the heel and you push forward. When you're stropping, you start at the tip and you push backwards. So what we do is we lay the knife down and you want to focus underneath the edge. And you want to lift the spine up until the tip of the knife hits, till the very apex, the very, very part that cuts you, touches the leather. The second it touches, that's your angle. So don't, like, a lot of people will wonder, like, oh man, I feel like I got it. And should I go up a little bit higher? Should I go up a little lower? As soon as it touches the leather, as soon as your apex, the part that cuts you, touches the leather, that's your angle. So you don't have to worry about anything else. And then what you do is the exact opposite of sharpening. So once we get the tip and we got the angle, so like I can go like this and look at it this way. Now, if you guys see it, I can go like that, and I can lift, 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 lift. Right there's my angle. I'll hold that with my wrist because I can lock my wrist. And now I'm gonna, as I pull backwards, I'm just gonna drop my elbow. The exact opposite of sharpening. Now I'm gonna go over here and do the same thing. I'm gonna look underneath the bevel. Watch it as I lift up the spine. Bam, right there's my angle. And then I just drop my elbow to get to the heel back here. Because remember, before when we were sharpening, we had to lift to get to the tip, right? So now we have to drop to get to the heel. That's with this blade shape, though. Like, it depends on the blade shape. So certain blade shapes will require a little more or less lift or no lift. Okay, we've got it all off. I do feel one little tiny setback. Oh, you know what? I see something. We did not reach the apex on one little tiny part. But let me show you something. Even though, like, it's still going to be super sharp, even though we didn't hit that, because we hit 90%. Look at that. We can still cut through paper towel for the most part. Just fine. We even do swirls through paper towel, even though we technically missed one little spot because it's only about a 1/4 inch big, and you guys probably couldn't catch it with the light right now, but it's right there. I wonder if it's a piece of burr just on there. No, I didn't reach the apex. It's all right. It's sharp enough right now. So what I would do with this is, because I have to do another sharpening on it anyways, because there's other spots because of the grind, I would just leave it like this, use it, enjoy it, and then when it's ready to sharpen, resharpen it again. That's what we're going to do with that. Now, we need to sharpen this guy, though. This is something I need to sharpen, so we're going to do this one really quick. But I want to use some bonded stones for this one. So what we'll do is we will start off with the 220. We'll set the bevel, and then we will move over to some really bad-ass bonded stones. I would pull out like some Japanese water stones, but I didn't have the water ready. Sharpening L being the sharpening dude. What? Sharpening L being the sharpening dude and missing a step. Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Any teacher that teaches you something and says that they're perfect and they don't make mistakes, or, you know, whatever, especially when you're live trying to do comments, deal with the camera, deal with all the bullshit. Like, it's not like I'm by my lonesome right now recording and editing things out if I need to, you know. So anybody who tries to act like they're perfect, I wouldn't trust them one bit. I make mistakes too. I showed one the other day. I recorded it and showed it on a video. Expensive stones are hard to find in my country. Cheap ones can do the job for light use. You know what? Just get diamond plates, man. If you get diamond plates, you're going to have just as good of an edge as just about as anybody else. And you don't have to get very expensive ones. Just don't go with the cheapest ones. So what we're going to do is, we actually have basically the same blade shape on this one. So when I pull towards you with this, I want to pinch up on the blade like this, right? Or at least as high as I can, because I want to be able to focus my pressure downward. When I'm this way, I kind of want to do the same thing with this finger a little bit, because I need to be able to get to this heel and kind of apply pressure downward, right? And as I'm applying pressure and I come across the stone, I need to be able to lift my elbow to get to the tip. But it's ever so slightly. And in fact, you can actually kind of do like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just showing you what I'm about to do. So this is what I'm about to do right there. So I'm going to do is just rotate my hips. You can do that. Now, your bevel might not be 100% perfect, but you can absolutely do it, and it'll be damn near perfect. And then what I'm doing is I'm locked in. So now I'm not doing anything but just literally rotating my chair. So if I push forward and lift my elbow, I have room for mistakes there, but very, very little room. It's very easy to not make a mistake there. You just lock your wrist, lock your forearm, lift your elbow, and you'll do the same thing. Drop your elbow on the way back, lift your elbow on the way forward. And we're barely lifting. We're only lifting like this much. It's very little. Have you got to check out the Ozark Trails of Valor? It's 14C with aluminum scales with axis lock. I have not. I would love to see what HRC they're sharpening that at, though. Ozark Trails, $20, 14C in aluminum. That's scary. Because 14C, while it's an easy steel for mass production companies to do, it really is, because it was made to do mass production. I would imagine, I bet you if they HRC tested, it's 56, 57 HRC. Jared, where do you get the shirt? This is from Blade HQ. I want one in the worst way. Are you using the stone dry? Yes, this is a diamond plate. So you don't need to use these with anything other than the knife. So that's the beauty, and this is why I recommend diamond plates, because diamond plates, you just dust them off. So I don't need to do anything with them. They don't clog. They, you know, if you get them wet, they can rust. Now this one might not, because it's probably aluminum, but I'm just saying if it's steel, like ultra sharps, they will rust if you get them wet. So I'd say stay away from water, especially with those. So you see how I'm just like kind of going at an angle and then kind of turning towards. So I'm barely lifting it all with this, because there's so much blade. Once I get to here, it's kind of like, once I get to here, I can kind of just turn in. Like I don't really need to lift that much. I have a burr all the way to damn near the tip, and like you're not going to be able to see it live like this. Maybe I can get the, let me see if I can show you guys. Might be able to show you. Not sure if this is going to work, but we're going to damn sure try it. So you're going to notice right there's the burr. There you go. See that burr? See that little, all that little shit down at the apex? It's like fur. That is the burr. I'm going to do the other side where the burr actually is, because that's the opposite side of the burr. So now here is the burr, the direction the burr is folded. You can see it right there. Look at all that little jagged shit. You see that? Which way am I going? That way. Now, if we go directly on the apex of it, if I can catch it, you can see it's folded over. See that? See how it's like a fold? So that is the burr. So at the very end, that is the most important thing to understand, because you're not finished with one stone until you've gotten a complete burr from heel to tip on both sides. You don't have to get it perfect on your first pass. You can go to this side, then come back to this side and back to this side, but you don't want to leave this stone until your edge bevel is good from heel to tip, from the top of the bevel down to the apex, from heel to tip, and you have a burr. Right now we're missing the burr right there, just that little tiny bit. Now I could just go to this side and then come back to this side, which usually I would do that, but I've sharpened this one before, so I'm just gonna focus at the tip and then blend it in. You don't want, anytime you work on one spot, like I work on this side right there, I want to blend that in. You never want to work on one part too long without blending it in. And there we go. So now when I come to this side, I'm flipping my burr over. So you hear the burr grab? Could you hear that? Listen, like if I just lay it down and try to push it across, it's like snagging. See that? If it was this side, look at this. It just slides right across. This one's like snagging because the burr's in the way. So now I'm going to cut that burr off. Well, not cut it off, but flip it over and do the same thing on this side. And with this, if you look at me, what I'm doing, I'm focusing at the heel, locking my wrist, locking my forearm, pinching up on the blade, focusing right here. And now all I'm doing is leaning back and forward. But I'm going to lean in first so that I have, you know, more control. Back, forward, just leaning back and forth. You can do that with your arms like this, or you can do it with your body, or a little bit of both. Whatever works for you best, whatever your body can control better. But lock that forearm and only move your elbow or your body or your shoulder or all of the above, but not your forearm. Okay, we already have a burr. This side went quick, very quick. Yes, we did. I want to get just a little bit at the tip. Okay, now let's go over to the 600. Still waiting for the misdemeanor that I picked up through eBay. Ooh, hopefully they didn't get you. No, I think it'd be all right. Just, I don't know, man. Hopefully it shows up soon. Or just, you know, message and say it didn't. Can you see the tracking? No, we're already done with this side. But I'm going to work on it just a little bit more, because just because you get a burr, because I've already developed the burr on the first stone. Remember, I got a burr on both sides on the first stone. The burr will accumulate very quickly on this. That doesn't necessarily mean all your scratches are covered. It just means you flip the burr over. So I'm going to work just a little bit more just to ensure that I cover all my scratch pattern. Plus I can see, you know, that I need to, you know, because I'm focusing on the scratches, like I said earlier. Now I'm just going to kind of stay on the stone just a little bit longer, get the tip really good, make sure my angle's locked in place, making sure I'm doing like 20 passes without lifting off of the stone, just so that I can ensure my bevel is nice and even. Because every time I lift up, every single time, even somebody as good as me, when I stop like I just did, and now I've changed my angle, right? Because I moved my wrist. When I go to put it back, it's going to be slightly different. Even if it's like a cunt hair different, it's a tiny bit different. So I do not want to only do one pass or two passes. I want to make sure I do a bunch of passes so that the new bevel will set onto the entire edge, which, because the angle is so close to each other, it's not going to take that much. Okay, so now flip the burr over that way and finish the side. Same exact thing. Hey, Jared, what would be the difference between using a strop with the 1 micron and a stone? So the difference is that the leather is, it's a way that so it's hard to explain, but the leather is fibrous, and it holds the diamonds in a suspended type of way. And when you are removing burr, you're wanting a stone will create more of a burr, okay? Or not more of a burr, it'll change your scratch pattern. So when you go to try to do that on the stone, it's going to take the bite that's on here and put it on here. With the leather, it does that too, but because it is so soft and supple, that once the apex gets to the leather, it's more forgiving. So it's more likely to remove burr without hurting your apex, unless if you lift your angle up too high or if you overstrop. Overstropping 9 times out of 10 is done because you go like this and you lift like that. So you want to make sure you're doing your stropping nice and even across the strop. But what I do is use it for honing. So the difference is, instead of stropping like this, you know, from tip to heel, do heel to tip and just hone your edge on the stone. Like, you can use a hone very similar to a strop. The difference is you're going to hone with it. You're not necessarily going to try to get a burr, but what you're going to do is you're going to try to make sure you straighten out any serrations that are chewed up or that are not even anymore. Maybe replace some, maybe knock some off, and refine the edge a little bit, kind of like using your finishing stone again. I do that all the time. After using my knife, I'll come in, I'll grab a plate, like a 5,000 grit plate or a ceramic, and I'll just do a few passes and just refine my edge. Okay, I have a little bit back here I want to make sure I get that's not really hit. There we go. Cut. Now, we need to knock this burr off. Okay, we can go to the 1,000 grit if we want to, which, you know what? Fuck it, we will. So we're going to refine it just a little bit more on this one. I usually, when I get to 1,000, I'd rather use bonded diamond especially over 1,000 grit, I definitely would use bonded over regular diamond plates, because once you get over 1,000 grit, once you get over 1,200 grit, you can go up to with a diamond plate, but once you go over that, they wear out way too fast. Like a 2,000 grit diamond plate will wear out like the first time you use it. So there's no point to really get them. I would just get a bonded stone or a ceramic. What the fuck? Anti-Semitism ain't cool. And it's freedom of speech, brother. Welcome to America. That's the beautiful thing about being in America, man, is we got our freedom of speech. I personally am a free speech absolutist. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I grew up in a fucking place where people said the most horrific things you could ever imagine. So nothing really bothers me from words. Actions is something different, but words, yeah. I prefer people to be able to say the most horrific things, the things I don't like, because if you only said things I like, then it's not freedom of speech, right? It has to be things we fucking hate, right? You have to be able to hear people say things you fucking hate. If you can't hear that, then you don't even believe in freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is hearing shit you don't like. And yeah, sometimes it sucks, man. Like I've heard, I mean, fuck, man, I couldn't tell you all the shit I fucking heard. But anyways, I know YouTube's a little different. It's a platform, so it's not really America, but it is a place for speech. So, all right, so we got a burr from heel to tip. So what I'm going to do is, again, like I said before, I'm going to reverse pass just like a strop. So I have the burr on this side, right? So I'm going to just flip it over, and I'm going to do reverse passes. I'm going to do it a couple times and do the opposite side. It's basically like stropping on the stone, because all I'm doing is I'm flipping the burr back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Think about a paper clip. If you take a paper clip and you bend it back and forth, what's going to happen? Eventually, it's going to snap off. That's what our goal is. Our goal is to make this fucker snap off. Now, it's probably not going to snap off just from the reverse passes. You're probably going to have to do some forward passes, but just make sure they're gentle. Don't do them rough. Don't add a lot of pressure. Let the burr gently, either one, be fatigued and pop off naturally, or two, slowly diminish from our diamonds, lightly rubbing it until it gets down to the apex. The reason why we don't want to add pressure right now is because our bevel is set. We have our apex. Remember, we've gotten burrs, burr after burr. So our apex is there. It just has a burr on top of it. So we need to get rid of that burr to reveal our sharp ass apex. Now, if we add pressure, you'll start diminishing your apex from one side to the other. That's what we don't want to do. So we want to make sure we don't fuck up our bevel right now. We want to make sure we just slowly remove the burr, and which we got. Now we would just take our strop. And now the reason why this is going to be different than that is, even if it was the same grit, which it's not, is just because this is going to be a little bit more gentle on the edge, but it's got fibers that catch these little cunt hairs that are on the apex, that are little microscopic little hairs from the burr. They're going to catch it, and it's going to snag it, kind of like a fish hook. So they're going to hook into this leather, and the leather is going to help pull it off without damaging the apex. Now, if we just strip it off really fast, like say if I use one of these to remove a burr really aggressively, then it could take steel from our apex that we want. So that's why you want to do this process gently and efficiently, because this is the most important part to sharpening. You could have you could be the best sharpener in the world, but if you're not good at removing the burr, it doesn't matter. The burr is one of the most important parts, if not the most important part. It's the difference between your edge lasting. It's the difference between your edge having toughness. It's literally the difference in everything. Oh, that's sharp. Oh, that's very sharp. Woo, hoo, hoo. Now that's sharp. That's sharp. Look at that. And this is a light roll of paper towel too. Like it's not brand new. Look at that. The lighter the roll, the harder this is, because it'll just knock it over if you add too much pressure. Oop, that was my fault. Can you guys see that? Am I way too far out? I'm sorry if I was. That is very, 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 very sharp. All right, let me throw this away. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper for you guys so we can cut that. You guys can come with me because I got the mic on, so you guys are gonna hear everything anyways. Got some good old computer paper for us. Let's see how this feels or sounds. Woo! Look at that dance. Look at that dancing edge. It is so sharp. Wow. I was going to mirror polish this bitch, but because this is ZDP1, I should have said this already. This is ZDP 189, 65 to 67 HRC. So this is an incredibly hard steel. So it has the ability to get incredibly sharp. Now, the only downfall to this steel is that it has like no toughness. However, this is a Sanmai, so it does have a jacket that's probably a little tough, but specifically the apex, the edge bevel is all ZDP 189. So it's not tough, but damn sharp though. So, but if I mirror polished it, which I could, that would be fine. It would hold, it would take a really, really sharp edge, but it would be a bit more fragile. You know, like Rocksteads, if you ever see Rockstead, it's like $2,000 knives that use ZDP 189. They're really thick behind the edge for a reason. All right, what do we got? Let's shoot the shit for 1 minute, and then we will we'll fire shit back up. I'm just gonna barely raise you guys up, not too much. Let me see what we got back here. What do we got to mess with? I do got a lot of fixed blades, but oh, you know what? I wanted to sharpen the baby. I think that's the name of this is. Look at this thing. I love this thing. This is such a badass fixed blade. I love the way it's almost like a shilling cutter almost, but the handle, see how it's a small, it's not a big ass handle, but the blade aims at everything. Like say if I'm going to cut, see how it's like, it's leaning forward. So it's going to trap things. If I'm going to do a utility cut, the tip is facing down. If I want to cut a strap backwards, it's going to trap it. You know, this rope's not just going to slip up and out. So it just, yeah, awesome. Gas station knife fighting grip, edge out works good. Edge in does not, but freehand is tougher to do. But if you want the sharpest edges, that's the way to do it. Any tips on sharpening a 940? Yeah, I wouldn't go with a super low angle. So this is very similar to a 940 right here. I sharpened this one up. This is an 18-degree bevel. You see how big the bevel is? So be careful with your edge bevel size. I have a 15-degree bevel on my 940 and it's massive, but I did that on purpose and I knew what it was going to do. But if you watch my video I just posted today on sharpening this, on sharpening narrow knives, if you're sharpening on a fixed angled system, you got to be careful clamping these because it's so narrow. You're going to have to probably go with a high edge angle. If you're doing it freehand, don't go with a low angle. You'll be there forever. The 940 is very thick behind the edge. So if you're going to sharpen a 940, instead of doing an angle like this, do an angle more like this, where it's a lot higher. Now, it's not going to be as sharp, but it'll be damn faster, like a lot faster. Because you don't want to be there for 3 days trying to sharpen it. What are the numbers inside the scales of the misdemeanor? K390. That is the steel. Hey, been a member for 11 months with the Benchmates. Hey, thanks for the kitchen knife video today. You're welcome, man. Appreciate you watching. I believe the word they use when marketing the Benchmate 940 is robust edge. Yes, it's definitely a robust edge. Very, very robust. Okay, so one thing you guys always can do is get one of these. This one has a sticker on. So this comes with these, by the way. So it has a 14, a 17, a 20, and a 25-degree edge bevel. So like if you were going to sharpen the 940, I would say do it at the higher one, 25, because it's not technically a 25. It depends on the thickness of the blade, how broad it is, and all those things. Like the 14, let me feel it. I'll tell you exactly about what it is. So this 14 right here is about a 17. If I had to guess, that's about a 17-degree edge bevel right there. I know that because it's right about the middle of my thumb. That's pretty, yeah. I can kind of just have my wrist and my forearm just kind of know 17 degrees pretty good. So that's what I would go with on this one. And look at that, it's going well. So you just start off by laying it on there, let it slide down, let the beginning of the edge touch, and then as you push it across the stone, you just lock your wrist, lock your forearm, and lift your elbow. So that's what we're going to do here. As we're going across stones, we're going to lift our elbows. Now this one has a little bit more lift. Remember we were talking about earlier, the lift, right? We start at the heel, right? This is the exact same as if we did this, okay? So while we're on the heel, we're focused here first. And then as we come across the stone, we need to lift our elbow to get to the tip. So it's the same exact thing if we're like this. As we're coming across the stone, we need to lift our elbow to get to the tip. So that's our goal. And we're going to start off. We can use the middle of our thumb again, once again, if we want to, about an inch away from the tip, inch or so, whatever. Focus at the heel, grind in the heel. We're acting like we're cutting a thin layer of the stone off, a thin layer off the surface. That's what we're acting like. We're going to go across the stone. As we go across the stone, we're going to work our way off of the stone and just keep our pressure right here. This is basically where our pressure is right here on the stone. Of course, there's different parts that might hit a little over here and in the middle. That's fine. But for the most part, we're focusing right there. So as we come off the stone, now this part's hitting. Now this part's hitting. Now this part's hitting. Now we need to raise our elbow to ensure that we're hitting the entire blade. We're going to lift our elbow and then lift our body up, drop our elbow, come back to the heel, and start again. Lift our elbow, drop our elbow. Lift, drop. And we could stay on the stone like this if we want. Now, sometimes I find that is easier to do, and sometimes I find that it doesn't do as well. It depends on the blade shape, depends on the geometry, the stone in your hands. Sometimes it just feels good to go back and forth, and I feel like I can hold my angle perfectly. And then other times I look at it and I'm like, this is all fucked up. And just me doing single passes does better. We already have a Burr. This is, what steel is this? 154 CM. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing. Get the pinch grip. Once again, focus at the heel. And as we come across, lift our elbow. And we just want to make sure that when we get to the tip right here, we got the tip. Now we're just going to lift our shoulder and our elbow. Well, we're lifting our arm without moving our wrist and our forearm. And then we're just going to drop the elbow to go back down to the heel without moving this. So this is all locked in. So when I go back that way, all I'm doing is just basically dropping my elbow and extending my forearm without moving it. Sharp elbow. Oh shit, man, this thing is sharpening up quick. Maybe I should have did a lower angle. Holy cow. That's what thin geometry does. Oh yeah, that's why it's so thin. Thin edges, man. Woo! That is already going very, very well. Very happy with this thing. I like this thing even more now. When a knife sharpens up good, man, it makes me even love it even more. It's one thing you guys are going to find if you get into sharpening. You're going to find a knife you fucking love, you're going to resent, and you're going to hate. Because the company did the heat treatment wrong and it just sucks. It sucks to sharpen. It doesn't hold a fucking edge. And the burr won't come off. And then you'll get another knife. And that thing just goes so smooth, so simple. I'll tell you what, when you get on a stone, sometimes when you're a beginner, I don't want to say this to beginners because I don't want them to always blame it on this. But there's going to be times when you get on a stone, you're going to be sharpening and it's going to be pissing you off because you're not getting anywhere. In some cases, it's not your fault. It's just the steel. The steel is like Play-Doh, right? Think about trying to sharpen Play-Doh. That would suck, right? You'd rather sharpen a stick, which a good steel would be, like a harder stick. So, like I said, don't use that as an excuse, but that's why I always recommend if you're learning to sharpen, do it on a proper steel with a proper name behind it, like Civivi, Senka, something that's known for doing budget steels well. Okay, so now we're going to flip our burr over, because we just got our burr from the other stone this way, right? So now what we're doing is we're just going from the tip to the heel and gently flipping the burr over, because if I just start dragging it across here, the burr was kind of big. It's going to snag the stone. It's going to fucking rip off, and it's going to leave little micro tear outs all over it. So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to gently flip it over to the other side. And now I'm going to start back at the heel again, and we're going to restart. Man, this thing feels so good going across the stone. The shape, the heat treatment, everything. They did a good job with this one, guys. A really good one. Man, I like this thing a lot. Yeah, I'm loving this thing quite a bit. It feels a little awkward because the heel is kind of tucked in a little bit more than right here than it typically is, but it's still working out really good. It's very easy to get, no problems. Bang. Got a burr, but I do have a little bit at the tip I need to get. So what I need to do is I need to dip my wrist just slightly right there. So what I'm doing is the back of my tip is not being hit, just the back of it. So what I'm doing is as I go across the stone, when I get to here, I'm going to let the tip hit, and I'm just going to kind of like just like dip my wrist just a little bit, because all it's doing is it's just letting it hit the back of the bevel. So if I go forward like this, it's hitting the apex. If I go like this, it's hitting the back of the bevel. So that's how you can determine your angle. So right now, I just want to let just the tip. This is one thing you can't do with a fixed angle system. You can only do this with freehand, where you can adjust your angle at the tip of the heel, you know, whenever. And the better you get, the better you'll be at doing that. It's not going to be easy at first, but there we go. Bang, we got it. But I do want, screw it, that looks good. Oh yeah. Flipping the burr back over again. Will we produce any more offenders? We didn't do the offenders. You mean inmates. The offenders were this one. That was BESTECH. And not unless if we do them. If we do them, then yeah. If you're talking about the inmate, I have no idea. That's I'm sure I'll have to sign off on it, and I would if they want to do more. Maybe we'll talk about doing a budget version or something. They haven't approached me yet, but they did sell out like immediately, so I know they're gonna. Oop, that was my fault. I know they're gonna. So I'll probably try to talk them into either A, doing a budget version, or B, a smaller version. Possibly just another run and a budget version. I'm not sure yet. But I do have multiple knives in the works right now. So hopefully before the end of this year, we'll have some more models. And next year, we will be filled with models every couple months. Every month to every couple months. Oh, yeah, that looks beautiful. The only thing that's not being hit perfectly is the very, very, very heel, but that's just because of the grind, so I'm not really that worried about it. Most knives, just so you guys know, most knives, the heel of the blade is going to be a little frustrating sometimes. Don't get frustrated. Sometimes just let it happen on the second sharpening, because the first sharpening, you know, you'd have to remove so much steel sometimes to get something perfect that you'd be doing 2 or 3 sharpenings anyway, so you might as well not waste the steel and just get it on the next sharpening. Jared, are you going to have to do bigger batches? Because they sell out so damn fast. I still hear multiple people going, damn, wish I had the fun. I know I want to. The thing is man, well, with the Wii one, I didn't have a choice because that wasn't my choice. But with the other ones, remember, we funded both of them. We didn't do a pre-order. So that's why we're going to do a pre-order this time. On the next batches, we're going to do a pre-order. That way we don't have to fund it. That way we can do a bigger batch, because you're right. 400 is a lot of knives, and it's a lot of fucking money, but it's not enough, obviously, because they sell out entirely way too fast and people are upset. So I want people to be able to get it. I really do. Trust me, if it was my choice, we would have gotten 1,000 of them. What steel keeps the edge the best? Depends on what you mean, because there's just different steels. So Rex 121 is the longest edge retention steel, but it's also a very low toughness. So while it might stay sharp very long, it might not hold the bite and it could chip on you. Just depends on what you're doing. Depending on what you're doing will depend on what will be the best. But Rex 121 is the longest edge holding steel that we know of. And then, you know, next would be like ceramic. I should be doing single passes. That seemed like it was working better. Gutting deer. That's cool. Good for you. That's awesome, man. Wish I was gutting a deer right now. Lucky bastard. I could be sharpening a knife and gutting a deer at the same time. That'd be a hell of a video. I don't know how YouTube would feel about it, but I'd say it's for educational purposes. A short blade is easier to sharpen. I like the way you hold your thumb on the back of the blade. Keep the same angle. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, shorter blades, they can be easier, but when it gets too short, then it gets more difficult. It just depends. Like chef knives are technically the easiest knives to sharpen, but that's due to geometry and because like you usually don't have to do much lift, right? It's usually very, very little to get to the tip. But yeah, obviously, you know, a shorter blade, you don't have to do as much, but it does depend on the shape and the geometry. Like if you have a short, fat blade, that's going to take it's going to take forever. Okay, let's, we got a burr. Flip that burr over, get it out the way. It's still there. One more. I can still feel it. There we go. Still there, but okay. Now, again, locking the wrist. It's Crimson Wolf wants your opinion on ruby honing rods. Are they good? Gang? Yeah, I used to like the ruby stones. I would say ceramic is going to be better. If you can get ceramic, get ceramic. Get a ceramic Spyderco medium and then a Spyderco ceramic ultra fine. That's what I recommend you get. If you really want, I do have some of the rubies, so I know. I used to like the rubies. They're like a 3K grit. The thing is they're good. They're good, but they're really, in my opinion, only good for finishing. So like if you're going to use them as a finishing stone, they're pretty good, or removing a burr maybe. But for honing and things like that, you know, it's not going to be the best. I would say ceramic's probably going to be a little bit better bet for you. But it depends on the steels too. So, you know, certain steels respond better to it. Are you still happy with the Atoma diamond blades? Oh, I love the Atoma diamond blades. Are my favorite diamond blades, but I can't. They told us 4 months to replace them on the site, and they want 50% more. So we're not doing that. There ain't no fucking way. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Atomas. Whatever's on Amazon right now is on Amazon. They might go up. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk to them in a couple months and they'll change. I don't know. I have no idea, but we're not restocking them right now the way they're talking. So I love the Atomas, but I'm looking into a different source to make my own diamond plates. So hopefully we do that soon. Until then, I would recommend getting those off of Amazon through my Amazon affiliate link, obviously, the Neeves Knives sharpening store. Or, oh, that looks so good. Or go and get Ultra Sharps or Sharp Balls, which is what I'm using right here. But yeah, Atomas are the best diamond plates for 3x8s. The absolute best is Hapstone Starts, but they don't make them in 3x8s. All right, let's look at that. Damn, that bevel looks so good. That looks beautiful. That's a beautiful bevel. Little tiny, I see a little bit of faceting near the tip. So I'm gonna try to straighten that out. And faceting means changing my angle, where my angle slightly changed, so you can see like a line from the one angle to the other. Like I said, every time you stop and you move your forearm, you're going to change your angle. Even if you're the best sharpener in the world, you're going to change it slightly. That's why you want to make sure you do enough passes that you completely replace the bevel you just stopped on with the new one. Good enough. Okay, now, did we do this side yet? I don't remember. I'm guessing not. So let me just do it just in case, because I don't remember now. I don't remember if we did this side. Looks like we did, but I see some deeper scratches, so that would lead me to believe that I need to continue. I'm looking to make sure my scratches are running at an angle all the way across. There's no lines back and forth, and trying to make sure there's no convexing, or at least very little convexing. That's good enough for the first edge. All right, so we have 1,000 grit. We are going to remove this burr. I usually, just so you guys know, I usually don't take 154 cm up to 1,000. 600 grit is normally my go-to for 154 cm, because I find that it just doesn't do as good with a finer edge. The finer it goes, the worse it does. Typically, the more medium grit stones are the ones that do the best. But we did stop at 1,000, so that's what I'm going to remove my burr on. Typically, I even like to remove my burrs on finer stones. Like, so in this case, like a 3,000, but I'm just going to remove it on this, because some of you guys are not going to be able to go and buy a 3,000 grit with your setup right away. So just want to show you, you can still do it on the 1,000. You just got to be gentle. Make sure you're flipping your burr back and forth like you see me doing right here. But if this thing doesn't have bite afterwards, I'm probably going to drop it back down to 600 grit. I typically always do. Okay, so I'm just doing single passes, trying to not putting no pressure. Remember, we only had the pressure during sharpening. We're just trying to remove the burr. So the burr only needs to hit the stone to bend or break. So right now we're bending it back and forth, trying to get it to snap off or diminish. So we're basically just bending it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, or just slowly breaking down the pieces. There we go. We're almost there. It's so close. It does look like I need to clean that up a little bit better. This side's beautiful. This side, I'm gonna hit this one more time. Something doesn't look right. I'm picky, guys. Really, what I'm trying to get out right now is stupid. I shouldn't even be trying. Makes me want to drop it down to a medium grit. Son of a bitch. But don't get crazy like me. Like, if you see something tiny like that, just get it out on the next sharpener. You do not need to be insane like me. It's not healthy. I get very picky, and it's just stupid because I got carpal tunnel, so I really shouldn't be doing that to myself. But I do. I'm just a fucking stubborn bastard. All right. Oh, man. Just that little piece right there. All right, screw it. I'm dropping it. I know I'm an animal, guys. I'm going to 600, and then I'll just remove the burr on there. That 600 is not strong enough to get out what I'm trying to get out, and it's going to drive me nuts if I keep looking at it. Like I said, don't be like me with that. Don't do that. Like, if you're at 90% done, don't worry about that 10% or 5%. It's not always a competition. Yeah, that looks a lot better already. There we go. Oh my goodness, that looks so much better. Okay. That looks beautiful too. All right, so now we're gonna remove the burr on the 1000. Flip it over. Flip it over. Just flipping it back and forth. I really like to remove my burr on bonded stones the most. I find that bonded stones have the best surface for burr removal. It's like they're supple yet very hard. They're a little, and I'm talking about specifically resin or hybrid bonded diamonds. I think any bonded diamond would work, but the bonded hybrids or resin bond, if they're like a real resin bond, like the Neeves or like the hybrids, my goodness, do those just remove a burr so nicely, so cleanly, and so effortlessly compared to other stones. It's like there's just the surface is really good for it. Another reason why I say like they have the best finishing stones. Aside from the burr removal. Still got some. Trying to add like little to no pressure. It's a little tough right now. But that's what I got to do, so. Okay, we're getting closer. I'm going to try to hit it on the strop, but I don't think it's going to get completely off. You see the burr right there. You can see it snagging. It might, but that diamond just keeps bringing it. Oh, yeah, shit, it did. Holy shit. Yeah, knocked it right off. Never mind. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right, we don't want to strop too much. Overstropping is just as bad as understropping. Wow. Yeah, it feels very, very sharp. That is really good. And like I said, 600 grit. Just because I knocked the burr off, that doesn't change the grit. That only was the apex. Maybe it refined it slightly, but not much. I ain't got nothing there. All right, we got the light roll going. Ooh, that was my fault. Yeah, it's going to be tough with this light roll. Come on. She's cutting though. This shape is really difficult to cut the angles. Might be just this roll too though, but screw it. It's cutting. It's cutting paper towel just fine. I do have a new roll right there I could just grab. Look at that. But yeah, it's like it likes to go straight more than turn through that paper towel, and not because of sharpness, because of blade shape. Some shapes you're gonna find are like that. Man, look at that. Holy cow. Look at those fibers. Look at how thin those things are. Look how tiny those things are. Pretty sharp. We could look at it under the microscope really quick, or the magnifying glass or whatever. Microscope. Do it. Where did I put it? Oh, shit. There we go. Normally I have the garbage can next to me. But today, how many people are in here? You guys let me know how many people are in here. Okay, so there, see how all the scratches are running at an angle? Like I said, that's the way you want them. You guys see that? Am I not in the screen? There we go. So you see how the scratches are running at an angle? That's the way you want them, just like that. Same thing with the opposite side. It's just running the opposite way. Well, they're all running this way. So you want the teeth running like that because that's the direction you cut and when you strop. So we sharpen this direction, right? When we strop this direction, same direction, right? When we cut this direction, same direction. So everything goes the direction of the serrations. We want the tips of the serrations to aim at what you're cutting, because what we don't want is it going the opposite way, so then it slips, right? You want it to bite. You want it to bite into it. You want, as soon as it hits, to bite, right? You want to bite in. If it slips, then that means the bite is gone. It means you don't have bite. Like if you get an edge where it's just like slipping right off, like, oh, let me do the back of it, like that, well, then that's because there's no bite. If it has bite, it's going to bite right in, and that's the way you want all cuts to go. Doesn't matter what you're cutting. That's a safe knife. A safe knife has bite. If you've ever cut a plastic strap, like a big thick zip tie, and you just slip out, typically that's because the knife doesn't have enough bite. Thank you, Clutcher. Will you be sharpening the Tanto tonight? I wasn't going to. Sorry. If you want me to, I can tune it up. I don't know if my hands can handle another one. I was already sharpening earlier. But with the Tanto, especially with one like this, I wanted to do this on a recorded one. So I'll do it right here, but it'd be better if I did on a recorded one for you. But what I like to do is, so just so you know, you could use one of these like this, and then watch this. What you could do is you can lay this on here, right? Let it drag. Now it's down to there. Now watch this. You can just use this to kind of push it across. You could do that. And if you really had skill, you could go back and forth. But the best way to do it is after you hit your angle. I like to use my thumb. Once again, find your angle, right? Whatever angle it is, and then just hold it and go back. You can go forward like that. And then same thing. You're just going to lock your forearm, right? Same thing. So right now I'm pushing forward, but I'm just using my body to push forward. I'm not even moving my arms. Watch this. My arms are going to be locked. Watch this. See how I'm right there at the tip? Watch my body. My arms aren't going to move. It's just my body. So now when I lift up, I'm just lifting up my back, dropping my back. So I could technically go back and forth, but I don't want to because I can feel it convexing a little bit. But right there, we already almost have a burr because I did it at a high angle. So I'm just locking my body kind of. And then once I see the scratches are really good, I'll do the same thing on this side. And you can either just turn it like this and just kind of hold it, or you could do the other hand because you're going to be locking in anyway. So it's not like it's too difficult, right? Because it's not like we're moving our arms or anything. So it doesn't matter how left-handed or right-handed you are. You're just pushing. You're just pushing your body forward. I got pushed away from me. You guys see that? Yeah. That one did get a little bit bigger, but you get the gist of it. I want to cut in this entire bevel into a mirror polish, which I might do. Like literally like do like the entire thing like back here like this. That would be really cool to me instead of just a regular bevel. This one, we have to go way up here like this. Yeah, I'm not. So what I do sometimes for the other side is I'll go like this, and I just go straight towards it. So I grab it, get it the angle I want, and I just pull it forward, and I go like this. That's typically the way I do this side. That's the way I usually teach it, because then I can still use my finger for an indicator if I want to, and it does cut it in much better. But because I did hit the back of the bevel with the first one. Let me do something on this side. And then do the straight edge on this side. And this side. And then you never work on one side too long. You just go round and about. So like I would work on this for a couple minutes. Then I would work on the nose for a couple minutes. Then I'd switch to the other side of the nose. And then I'd switch to this side. And I would just keep doing that in a circle until all the scratches reach the apex and start developing a burr. That's how you do a Tanto. I got Tanto videos if you want to watch them. I do have Tanto videos you should go check out. Whatever happened to the leather apron? I still got it. It's right in the drawer behind me. I just haven't wore it. I have a Kershaw Iridium. That is my workhorse, and it has seen a lot in my Gerber strong arm. That is a camp knife, and it needs a good bit for chopping. Yeah, I got a big old box right here full of fucking fixed blades. You guys want to check them out? I got a whole shit ton of them right here. I was gonna cut something with that, I guess. So I guess we can check them out really quick, and then we'll get out of here. So right here, I got a Work Tough gear, designed by Outer Limitless. I really like this one. Let me move this shit. Sorry, guys. I like this baby though, by the way. Love the baby. But yeah, this is a badass one. Work Tough gear does, in my opinion, some of the best hard use knives. Great sheaths. I have another Work Tough gear, I think, in this. Yeah, no, not that one. Maybe I don't have it here. Oh, I got it over there. This is made in Ukraine. This is, oh no, this one's Work Tough gear. I'm sorry. I have a different one from Ukraine that's very similar. This is from Work Tough gear again, and this is called the Steadfast Mirror Polished Edge. This is a fighting knife, obviously. Listen to that. Nice loud snap. I got, oh, here's the ones from Ukraine right here. So these ones are from Ukraine. I kind of like these. These are fighting knives too. So if you look, it's got a polished swedge and a polished edge on it. They did a good job. Krava Cut is the name. But this is a really good fighting knife. Now the swedge is not sharp, but boy, that tip is, it's very inline, like for puncturing. We got this guy. Got a little needle, a little bone, getting in between rib cages. And then a Skinner. So to me, this is a hunting knife. Like the guy I was talking about earlier. I think that's sitting there. That's a neck knife right there. It's pretty cool. Then this is from T-Kel. This is a Warncliffe. USA made. I really like this one. I have a drop point that's with a friend, possibly getting a hollow regrind. Not sure if he'll be able to pull it off. This is just a cheap one I got from Amazon, but I like it, man. I love the look of it. I love the way it feels. I want to do some fucking damage with it. You know what I mean? It does have the Tanto blade shape, but I have sharpened it already. Mad jealous you were in the trap house. Was just thrilled Jared gave me 10 minutes of time at the show. Come by the trap house next time. Probably a lot better steel from those machines. I want a karambit for a neck wear or a small enough one for about, yeah, well, my design is coming here pretty soon. The knives are all done. They now have deep hollow grinds, but we have magnetic sheets on the way from Italy, so we'll have those pretty soon. This is an old one from Mike Emler. It's called the Sea Snake, Artisan Sea Snake. This one was a neck knife, so this one was one that originally comes as a neck knife, but I got a tech lock on there. But it's a nice little Warncliffe AR PM9 steel. That's a banger. This one's from Steve CUTLERY. This one was a Blade Binge exclusive. This is from Ryan Mazzetti. It's got the copper Damascus, side cut micarta, and then the wavy weave carbon fiber handle. Look at that fucking handle. That thing is sexy. With the turquoise, well, not turquoise, sorry, with the Tiffany blue G10. We have a turquoise one coming. This one is another Steve CUTLERY. The first one that was from Blade Binge. That's an old cheapie. Oh, this is the one I had custom made with Steve CUTLERY. I had him make this design, so this is my design. He made it for me. Screaming sharp. 65 HRC crew wear. This thing is sick. A double harpoon. Isn't that nasty? Isn't that badass? A double harpoon. Cross side cut micarta and then carbon fiber with the Tiffany blue G10. I love this thing. I hopefully we'll be able to make that one day. This is a buck I've had for over 20 years, well over 20 years. I broke the tip on it over 20 years ago. A friend of the family got this for me, and I've had it forever. Back then, it was like a $120 knife. I'm not sure what it costs right now, but it has a hollow grind. It has the gut hook. I used to just carry it around my house on, and just do everything with it. I didn't really use the gut hook that much. I never skinned a deer with it. I skinned deers with other knives, but not this one. But I did use this for just an all-purpose knife around the house. I literally used to carry it on the belt around my property. This is a Creeley. I have another Creeley right there that I'm gonna be pulling out pretty soon. This is the Magnamax steel. You guys been asking about that. I'm going to be doing a sharpening on the little blade, possibly on this one too, to show you guys. This is just a shitty knife. I'll be clear. This is just a shitty knife, but this has memories. So without going into too much detail, appreciate you sharing your knowledge of the knives with us. I've learned a lot from you. Awesome, man. Appreciate the 5 bones, man. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So without going into too much detail, there was a heist a long time ago, and some things came out of a heist, and everything's been all settled, and it's past the statute of limitations and everything. But my dad gave this to me, and it happened to possibly happen to come from that. But it's just a Pakistan knife, but I've actually beat the shit out of stuff with it. And it's actually fucking tough. I was surprised how well this thing actually did, considering it's a Pakistan made knife. It's typically they're crap. It is full tang, but it's just a Bowie, Thank you again for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Or the support, I should say. Let's see what else we got. We got, another T-Kel. This one is the design by Bob DeMarco. I like this one. What I really like this for, just like this CRKT Facet, this thing is a great throwing knife. I was literally throwing this thing. I actually chipped the tip all to hell because I was throwing the shit out of it. This thing is also a phenomenal throwing knife. T-Kel does a great job with the sheaths. What is that? Okay, this is a cool neck knife. Somebody was looking for a neck knife earlier. Check this out. So it's got a finger right there. It's a nice little fucking claw. This thing, when you get it in your hand like this, ooh, it is locked in, man. Like you want to start you feel like a tiger. Like it's pretty nasty. I can just feel it. You could technically get it like that, but it feels better just like this. I don't know what that screw is for that's in there, but probably for just retention. Yep, that's all it's for. So, but yeah, it makes it where you just yank back with your pinky and you already got your, or not pinky, with your pointer finger, and you already have it in there. There's jimping all over the place. The sheath does hang on pretty good. Cool little neck knife. This one is from a custom knife maker. This is, I forget the name of the Damascus. It's the first original kind of Damascus, but it's ugly Damascus, but it is the first original kind of Damascus. And then we have Work Tough Gear. Nice big old Bowie. Look at that. Oh, we got chips all over this sumbitch. I must have chopped into nails. I had to have. I could never, yeah, I had to have. There's no way I put those chips. Look at this. Let me grab the magnifying glass. There's no way I chipped the edge this bad. I was chopping a 4x4. Hey, been a member with the Rocksets for 32 months. Been a while since I've caught a live. Thank you, Peter. Hey, Peter, man, I still got your package. We're doing another giveaway with the members. I'm definitely going to be getting yours out because I know they denied it the last time, but we're definitely getting that out. Look at that. Look at that chip or dent or whatever you want to call it. There's no way that happened. There's way more, too. No way this happened from a damn 4x4. Like, how the hell? Like, it's crazy how horrible these are. Like, the whole edge is just like, as I'm dragging this across, I can just feel all the chips. So, need to give that some love. Need to give that a sharpening. Now, this is a thick bitch, so this would take a lot of sharpening. For freehand, it'd take me probably, if I did it well, it'd probably take me about an hour, maybe 2 hours. If I did it on a belt, it would take me 20 minutes, not even 10 minutes maybe. Really love this sheath. I love the fighting style of a Bowie. A Bowie is a great fighting knife. Then we have this guy, which is the Drop Bear. This is a Kaiser Drop Bear. We have already sharpened this, but we need to put a new edge on it. Hey, $199, best slip joint with the best walk and talk. That would be the Midnight Jack from Jack Wolf. Midnight Jack from Jack Wolf. That one, and then also the one with the Warncliffe blade. I think it's is it the Viper? Venom. I think it's the Venom Jack. The one with the Warncliffe. Whatever the one with the big Warncliffe. They made a folding and a fixed blade. Sorry, a folding and a locking version of it. Sorry, a slip joint and a locking version. What's that magnifying glass you're using? 2 bones. Thank you for the 2 bones. First off, check out this Work Tough Gear. Another one. That's what this one was too. I forgot. This is a beast of a fighting knife. So like these ones are fighting knives, I guess you could say, but they're also outdoors knives. They're choppers. They're whatever. They're really thick. This is actually pretty thin. And I did chop the same thing with this, and it didn't get all its chips, but I might not have got as deep. But this thing is like ninja fast. Like, man, you just feel really good with it. This is, you don't have to get this exact one. If you go into the description, go to my Neeves Knives sharpening supplies. That's Amazon. If you click that link, just go there. You can just put in handheld microscope, and these will pop up. Now, this is the high deal one. I don't think these ones are there no more, but they have the identical one. Somebody just put their brand on it. So there's all kinds of these, the same exact one, just with different brand names on it. I also have another one over here. This one is by Andostar. This one is a lot better because you can zoom and zoom out right here. So it is much better, but it's more difficult to use for something like this. Okay, so we have just a couple more. TKL Night Stalker. This one has the double edge, so we have a sharpened edge here and here. Really cool. Like that one. We don't have many more, so don't worry, guys. We're almost down here. Okay, so we have a BP Custom. Love his work. This is MagnaCut. This is from oh shit, I'm gonna butcher his name. Damn it. I can't remember his name, and I'm going to be, I feel so bad. I can't remember. For the person asking about the magnifying glass, it should be in this link somewhere. Thank you. Yeah, just click that link and then just type in handheld microscope, and it'll pop up. You'll see a whole bunch of them pop up. You just have to put it in the search bar. Then this is a real reverse Tanto. See these guys, you guys always hear of knives being called reverse Tantos, like the Benchmade 940 and stuff. Bullshit. That's not a reverse Tanto. This is a reverse Tanto. See how it's sharp here and here? So this, if it's not sharp here, that's just a sheep's foot. Reverse Tanto is sharp all the way on the spine and the edge. So this is a legit reverse Tanto. I think that's all the blades we got right now. Where the fuck did the sheath go? There we go. I think that's all we got. What is that? Oh, that's just stuff. So there you guys go. Let's we'll close it out here in 1 second. Let me just put all these back. Maybe shoot the shit for about 3 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I got a long day tomorrow. We're going downtown to a custom knife maker, Everburn. You guys might or might not know who he is. He does make, I have never tried his work, but his work looks absolutely incredible. If you guys can, go to Instagram, just look up Everburn. He's he's in Chicago, and he's a custom knife maker, and everybody's invited to his shop tomorrow. So there's basically just going to be a hangout, knife guy hangout. Do you have the Batman knife? Do I have a Batman knife? I did it one time, probably. Yeah, I think so. I think I have one somewhere. Piece of shit. I think sword knife strokes resonate because the species memory rides in the DNA strands. I agree. It's like the Eureka first aid. Yeah, I agree. I got a badass sword in the other room. How do you feel about the alpha stones for high grits? I love them. Those are some of the best because they're resin bonded diamond. I think the hybrids and resin bonded diamonds are the best for the high grits, for the finer grits. If you're talking about above 3K or above 2K, the hybrids and resin bonds are the best. And shit, they're even the best for some other grits, especially compared to a lot of others. I got a badass sword in my closet right now. I got that little mini Quachetti. It's basically a little mini katana, but then yeah, I got a real sword. I need to do a video on it, man. It's a legit battle sword. I need to do a real video, fucking something up. I even got some of those Hikatami mats or whatever the fuck they're called, so I could do them. I gotta soak them in some water and chop them up before it gets too cold. Do you ever do knife sharpenings? I have 80. No, I used to. I used to run a sharpening service, but now I just teach it. If you need somebody, I can recommend somebody. Just hit me up on Instagram. Everburn has a variable detent system with a screw system to adjust the detent on the fly. There you go. Hell yeah. SOG knives any good? The USA made ones, yeah. They have a couple good ones. Like the Terminus is really good. That's not USA made, but the Terminus is really good. Their Seal is really good. Seal Pup. Any of their USA stuff is good. That's made by Hogue. And then a couple of their other things with their crossbar locks. If you see it has their crossbar lock, they're usually pretty good. What happened to you doing a video where you said you were going to put a crazy out giant sword? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I got to finish that video. I haven't done it. That's my point. I recently did a hatchet. I'll show it to you guys. So I did the video and I told you guys, I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but I lost all my footage on my phone, like everything. I lost months and months of work. Like I couldn't even tell you how much shit that I had, like, because some things take a long time to make. Well, this was one that I sharpened up. You see that mirror polished edge, and I did a video on it, taking it from a dull edge to a very, very sharp edge, and lost all that footage. So now I'm going to redo it, but this time I'm going to sharpen it from here down. I'm going to leave this a micro bevel. I'm going to redo this as a micro bevel, but first I'm going to sharpen this from here down. You know how I sharpen this? I used I put it in a fixed angled system, and I put 3x8 atomas in my fixed angled system, and I used 3x8 atomas, and then I moved to resin bonded stones right there. That's how I did that. Resin bonded stones. That's crazy. Show us your knife that ended its sharpening life. Show us your knife that ended its sharpening life. What do you mean? You mean that's been sharpened to death? Not sure if I have any right now. Um, hmm. Not sure if I have any right now. I've had some, like I mean, some of the ones I have, they're put away. They're way over there, and like in a thing, I'd have to find them and pull them out. Like I have an 0450 that's had like like it's like, you know, like that big, instead of this big, you know, because they start out like this big. Mine's like that big, so it's like done basically. I've got I have so many knives, I don't have to sharpen a knife to death. I used to sharpen knives to death, but I don't have to do that anymore. I do have knives that I've sharpened pretty much to death, though. I've typically wind up sharpening them up and giving them away, though. And it's so much better how WorkSharp brings that kit out with the horrible clamp is baffling. What do you mean? Horrible clamp. Yes, I definitely want to see your video on the back. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. Hatchets and tomahawks are awesome. Yeah, I got to get some more on the channel. These ones are cool. This is from Wooks. It has a micarta handle, but lots of grip, and it's got the hammer on the back. These are made between the USA and Italy. And yeah, it's got this nice little hook right there, so it feels really good in the hand. You feel like you can generate a lot of force. Tell you what, I really like this guy, man. That's one that I freaking love. This thing is like totally my style. You feel like you have so much control over this thing. Like if you needed to do, you know, feather sticking or chop some branches or maybe cut up some food, like you can just do everything with it. And then it has that beautiful micarta. You get a lot of room from back there, so you got a lot of leverage to chop. It just feels really good. I fucked that one up. Oh, I got 90%. Just that little tiny bit. Let's do it again. Get it out of the way this time. I was afraid I was gonna hit my damn jewel thing. There we go. Yes, sir. That's a sharp son bitch. But okay, one more time, guys. I'm gonna say this to you guys. If you watch the channel, you're going to see an advertisement on it. But Wednesday, I'm doing a Whatnot live. But listen, don't just leave. Listen, because this has to do with you. If you have not been to Whatnot, if you've never been to Whatnot, then you want to go on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Be there. Sign up. Use my link. You can find the link. I'm going to wind up doing a video, so just you can find the link in my bio. That's one way you can find it, or you can just wait till I post the video. I'm going to talk about it up until Wednesday, but here's the point. Wednesday the 20th, 8 p.m. Central Time, when I go live, if you've never been to Whatnot and you've never bought anything from Whatnot, you will get $15 off automatically. That goes for everybody and anybody who first signs up to Whatnot. But I am going to throw an extra knife in your box. So if you buy a $20 knife, you get $15 off, $5 and another knife. So it's like a win-win. So if it's your first time ever purchasing anything on Whatnot, you will get an automatic free knife, and it's not going to be a piece of shit knife. I want to make sure it's a good knife. And if you happen to spend the most money in my auction, you will automatically get a premium knife extra. And another thing, we're going to be doing giveaways the entire time. So even if you don't want to purchase anything, you just want to be a fucking, you know, what do you call it? A leech. So what? Show up and be a leech and just fucking get in the giveaways. We're going to be doing giveaways the entire time. We're going to start off with giveaways and we're going to end with giveaways. So tons of giveaways. Everybody's going to have a chance to win something, and anybody who's never bought anything and never signed up to Whatnot automatically will get something if you just spend some money. And I will have buy it now options. Now, if it's your first time, again, you get $15 off. So if I have $20 Stropping compound on there, or $20 whatever, you can get it for like $5. So I'm just saying it's a win-win. Don't miss out on that. Whatnot live Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Do they ship over here? Peter, yes, they do, but mine, I'm not set up for it yet. I'm going to eventually do that. I'm sorry, I do not have that set up right now for overseas. But I will eventually do that. They don't want you to really do that until you've done a bunch. You know, it's kind of, you know, just the way it kind of is. So once I get really good at it, which I am pretty good at it now, I might be able to open it up to that. Not a leech. It's called a lurker. Kara knows. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, I try to do a good show. We had a couple mistakes the last one, but I try to make up for it. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Do you think a good pocket fixed blade is worth it? Yes, absolutely, Anthony. And you know what, Anthony? I got a badass pocket fixed blade coming. A couple of them. I got 2 customs coming and a production one coming, and you're not gonna want to miss them customs because they're badass. They're really badass. Anyways, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time. Peace. Now I gotta shut this thing down. I have to walk around and make noise the whole time. Maybe scream in the microphone, burn your eyes up or your ears up. Does appendix carry? He uses it as a lunch knife at work. Awesome. If you're gonna carry a knife, you know, for like self-defense, just make sure you know how to sharpen. But if you're carrying one, you know, in your appendix or whatever, you know, that's typically what it's for. But I guess you can carry it anywhere. See you guys later. Peace.